Hello guys, the recording has been started. And here it is. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the MLP Project orientation session. This session is designed to give you the tools, resources, and guidance you need to excel in your project journey. We are honored to have Sarthak Khandelwal with us today as our main guest. Sarthak Bhai is a distinguished alumnus of our BS degree program. He has completed his BS degree and is one of the toppers of this program actually, and currently serves as a mentor of both MLP and MED projects. And his journey is truly inspiring, and his insights will be undoubtedly add immense value to our session. So during this session, we will focus on the strategies, resources, and actionable steps to set you on path to success. Without further ado, let's welcome Sarthak and dive into today's session. So, Sarthak bhai, I will present the Canva slide here, and now you can take the session ahead.
Sure, sure, Aradhya.
Mm, and share. Okay, here it is, Sarthak bhai.
So, shall we start now?
Yes, Sarthak bhai.
Okay, yeah. So, hello everyone. Good evening. Uh, as Let's start with the quick introduction again. So, myself Sarthak Khandelwal, and I was working as the MLP project mentor for like couple of terms. You can say almost 1 year for the same. So, along with that, I have mentored so many students and conducted the boot camps as well. So this is a short introduction for in perspective of the MLP project. So let's give a brief introduction on the MLP project as well. So this is the end-to-end project where you will be provided a data set with basic metadata like the information about how the rows are there, how the columns are there, and what each of the columns are meaning, specific meaning for each of the columns. And there would be a predictive model that you have to make throughout the project, which will be predicting some predictions on the unknown unseen data set, which will be called as test data set. And for the same, for the training purpose, you will be given a training data set. So this is what MLP project is all about. And throughout the terms, there are two kind of problems that you might have gone through. These are the problems that you might see in the later years, later terms as well. One is the classification problem, and one is the regression problem. So a quick overview on that as well. Like a regression problem is something where you need to predict a value, a numerical value. This is the regression part, and for the classification you need to do the classification. You need to predict what is the class of some particular data points if you have given certain inputs to the same. And here the thing would be, there are two categories for the classification problem as well. One is binary classification and another is multi-class classification. In binary, which means by the name itself, there would be only two categories in which you will be predicting either a category 1 or category 2 is the outcome. And in multi-class classification there will be more than there will be more than two category where you need to do the predictions. So this is the MLP project, and there are few steps that you need to take care. And before starting of the MLP project, there are few things that you need to take care for the successful registration of the project itself. Because in MLP project, it is not like you have done the registrations on the C portal, that is enough. No, that is not enough, because the project is being considered on Kaggle. So you need to make your user ID on Kaggle, and there will be a form floated as a milestone one in the portal itself, where you need to give input of your notebook name, your username, what is the username of your username in the Kaggle, and what is the team name. And there are particular things that you need to take care about, that there will be a competition link for Kaggle that you need to join through your student mail ID, like your Kaggle ID that is made by your student mail ID. After joining the competition, you need to have your team name same as your roll number. The reason is this team name is something that will be reflected on the leaderboard, and it should be your roll number so that the team can verify from the backend that is it really you or someone else. This is one part. Apart from that, there is a fixed pattern for the notebook name as well. Like in the competition, after joining the competition, you have to check your team name to be your roll number, and then you have to create a notebook, and there is a fixed pattern of your notebook name as well, which you can see from the document that will be shared. But I'll let you know the pattern as well. The pattern would be like your roll number, then a hyphen, then notebook, NOTEBOOK, then an hyphen, and then T12025. This would be a pattern, which means like your roll number, then hyphen, followed by notebook, then hyphen, then followed by term 12025, T12025. This is a pattern for which all of you have to be, all of your notebook should be named on this particular pattern only. Okay. This is one thing that you need to do before starting of the project itself. And after doing this much of the steps, then only you will be considered that your registration is successful. And what MLP project team does is after a week or so, they release a sheet as well, which shows if your registration status is successful or not. If it is not successful, then there will be a time frame which where you can take help from the mentors. You can join live sessions and see what is the issue, or you can go through the space and ask why is it not there, and you can follow the same steps and complete your registration first, because this is the mandatory steps. Without registration you can't proceed ahead for the project. This is like the prerequisite before even starting with the project. And one more thing to add on here is you will have to submit a dummy classifier so that your entry should be reflected in the leaderboard. Leaderboard is something that is inside the competition, where you based on your predictions, like what is you have made, what is the score of that prediction, and based on that you will be placed on the leaderboard. And to be in the leaderboard, there should be a minimum one submission you should done, then only you will be in the leaderboard. And once you are visible on the leaderboard with your roll number, then only you can be considered that your registration is successful. So up to this part, anyone have any doubt in the registration process? Also, let
Sir,
me know if
when is
my
this?
speed is okay or anything else you want to know.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Madesh.
Yeah, your speed is good. You are explaining very well. I haven't seen this link till now activated. So can you tell us that when is this going to start?
Yeah, like the
Registration
competition
process
link
and
is
all.
not yet released, I guess, and it will be released once the terms is started. So you can expect it like in the first or second week of January itself.
And about registration, about the projects and all. The other.
These all the things will be done after you get the link of the competition.
Okay, no, no. I am saying before. Till now, we have not. I haven't. I'm not able to see any registration link for MLP project.
No,
So when will
yeah,
this?
okay. So let me
My
clarify that as well. One thing you need to do is you will have to do the registration for MLP project the same way do you do the project you do the course registration for all other courses. Okay. After that, once you have registered and paid the
Okay,
fees
okay.
in the seat portal for the MLP project, then this is a separate thing that you have to do in Kaggle in order to make sure that you are registered for the project through Kaggle as well. Because you need to do two kind of registration here. One is the actual registration that you do on the course portal itself by paying the fees and all those things. Another would be the Kaggle registration that you have to do specifically for MLP project, and that can be done later as well, like after the project begins.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Ram Naresh,
So what's the price of the project?
this is something that is already known to you guys. It is based on the credit system. I'm not very aware of it.
Mhm.
Okay,
But
anyone else? Any doubt?
but I
Or
don't
should I
know
move ahead?
I don't know the price of the project. Can you please tell me?
You can go through the fee structure on the academics page, and you can get to know about the price of the project and all those things. Okay.
Mhm. Thanks. Sorry.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, may I opt this project along with the theory this term?
Yes, you can.
So, would it be manageable, or should I go the next term, next to next term?
No, that can be manageable, but you have to put some extra effort, like going through the first 4 week initially in order to start the project. Once you are done with that part, you can do the rest within the given timelines.
So it would be best if I do the theory this term and the next term I opt for the project.
You can do both ways. I do not have any such preference in that. Like if you want to do it together with the theory or separately, that is totally up to you how you are going to manage the things. But it is quite manageable if you want to do it with the theory as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Next.
Yeah, first step I understood from the fee payment point of view and all that stuff, but then I didn't understand the second step quite well. And you were saying
Okay.
some leaderboard and all that. I didn't
Okay,
get
got
it
it,
quite.
got it. Maybe these are the things that you will understand once you do the course registration and go to the course page of MLP project, where you will be given a MLP project documentation. And in that documentation, you will see all these steps listed very clearly with some screenshots that will help you to navigate through the portal. And that will clear all your doubts regarding the registration on Kaggle in particular. Does
So,
it make sense?
so is it something like presenting the idea about the project and etc. Or
No, no. Okay,
Hmm.
so I'll tell you the reason. Basically, Kaggle is a different entity from IIT Madras. Okay, Kaggle is a portal. Kaggle is a platform where you can do competitions on data science and machine learning. And we are hosting a competition there to get your credentials. What are the credentials that you are using there in the competition, and align it with the IITM's credentials? We need to do the mapping of that. For that case, we need what is your username on Kaggle, because that is something which is totally different from whatever you are having on the Seek portal. So
okay,
for that case, we need that you should mention your roll number as your team name, so that we can align that this particular person is here, and he has successfully uh, enrolled in the project, as well as he is successfully working on the project on Kaggle as well.
so Kaggle registration and working is also mandatory for doing the project.
Yeah, because the total project of MLP is on Kaggle only. You can't do anything on MLP project without visiting to Kaggle. Whatever you want to do in project, you have to go through the Kaggle ones.
Okay. So, you said that in the leaderboard, I mean, unless you come to the top, it's not like your registration is accepted. Is it something like that?
No, no.
Okay.
If your entry is there in the in the leaderboard, which means your registration is successful. The reason is, whenever you will make any single submission on the competition, you will be entered in the leaderboard.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what the registration part is about. And once the registration is done and you get the data set, how are you going to proceed ahead with that? This is what the pipeline is mentioned in the slide that the screen is being shared. Aradhya, can we stick to the Canvas slide for once? Yeah, thank you. So you can see that this is a flowchart that was made, and this is what usually people use whenever they are going through the MLP project. We start with whenever you get the data, what you do. The data collection is already done because someone have collated all the data point and given to you in the CSV format. The very first thing you start with the EDA. EDA means exploratory data analysis. Basically, when you get the data, the first thing you want to know is what is this data about? How is it? Is there some relation with each of the column or not? What is the meaning of each of the column? What is the distribution of each of the column uh, or each of the data set? That is what the very first thing that should come in your mind. Like if I am a very new person to the part and I am getting one data set and no, I have no knowledge about it, what will I do at first? I will try to explore more and more on the data set to understand what is this data set all about and how is it, right? So this all comes under exploratory data analysis, where we basically do we check the shape of the data, we check what is there some missing value or not, what is the type of the data set we are having. Like there are so many columns. Let's say if we are having a data set with 20 columns, so there is a possibility that all 20 columns are not in the same data type. There could be something which a numerical value, there are some where float values are there, there is some boolean, there is some let's say numerical, categorical, and categorical also binary category is there, multi-class categorical is there. Then there might be something where whole paragraph is written for some data point. So these are all different data types that can be available for your data set. And this is all you need to do in the exploratory data analysis only. And this is not like limited to this. There are so many more things that you can do in the exploratory data analysis, because exploratory data analysis EDA is one of the mandatory part of the MLP project. If you are not doing EDA, you are not even going to qualify for level 2. You will be failed in level 1 itself. So EDA is very mandatory thing. And in EDA, apart from these things, you can go with the univariate analysis and multivariate analysis. These are the two big chunk of the EDA. Univariate analysis means you can refer to certain visualizations to check what is the distribution of each of the column. With each of the column, you can see how is it distributed, is there some skewness, is there some missing value. Like there might be a data set where limited data points are missing, but there are some columns where most of the points are having a blank or a missing value. So you need to see how those data points are distributed. And after that, you move ahead with the multivariate analysis. In multivariate analysis, by the name itself, it suggests that we are going to see more than one variable at once. So here, what we basically try to do is we try to see how one column is related to another column, or how what is the effect of one column with the target variable. Why we do so is in the machine learning, this is the very basic step, because whenever we are having the data with several data points, so you need to know which is the particular data point that is affecting more to your target variable, right? And there are some other columns where it is there, but these those columns are not making any sense. So for that case, what you have to do, you have to see the relation with the target variable and each of the column to understand how they are related, so that when you are moving ahead, you can choose that, okay, if this particular column is helping me more to find what is the particular target variable, then I will keep this. And if there is some another column which is not working for you, you can ignore this. Okay, this is something that you have to do in the EDA part. After EDA, another thing comes up is a data pre-processing. And in the pre-processing also there are different steps. One is the handling of missing values. As I told earlier, that in EDA itself you can go and check if in your data set there are some missing value or not. So if there are some missing value, then what are you going to do with it? Are you going to drop those certain data points? Are you going to drop that particular column itself? Or are you willing to do the imputation? If you are willing to do the imputation, then also it comes what is the type of the column. So do you want to input some random number there, or a mean, or a median, or a most frequent value there? It depends upon what kind of data set is there. If it is a numerical data, what is the input that you want to impute for missing values? If it is a categorical data, then what else you can do? These are all the things that you need to explore in the handling of missing value part. After then, the second thing comes in the pre-processing is the scaling. Scaling in the sense like, let's say we are having a data set where one thing is, there are two like length measure only, okay? And one length measure is in kilometers and another is in centimeter. Now, in our data set, in our machine learning, whenever we will be giving input to the machine, to the model, machine learning model, it will not see what is the unit of it. It will just see the numerical values, right? So in that case, if at one point it is written like 1,000 meter, and another point it is written 1 kilometer, so it is not going to, your ML model is not going to see if it is in meter or kilometer. It will just see 1,001. And while comparing, there might be a case that your more weightage could be given to the 1,000 because it is higher in value. Eventually, those are equal because 1,000 meter is equal to 1 kilometer. So in those cases, you need scaling as well. Your all the data points should be on a same scale so that it can be used in the ML model. This is why scaling is very important. And after that comes encoding. Why encoding is necessary? Because whatever model you are going to select in ML, all the model takes input only as a numerical value. And if it is a categorical value, so you can't move ahead, you can't do it direct input in the ML model. In that case, what you have to do is you have to do the encoding so that you can convert your categorical variables to a numerical counterpart, and then you can proceed with the model training. This is what encoding does. Okay. So you have the data set, you saw how your data set is, you done the EDA to understand what is the relationship between one part to the another, one feature to the target variable, and what is the distribution of target variable and all those things. After that, you saw that, okay, we found some missing values there. You handled missing values. There are so many ways of missing value handling. You need to choose anyone and move ahead with that. Next step comes is, okay, now I have to do the scaling as well. So there are so many scalars as well. Like standard scalar is there, min-max scalar is there, robust scalar is there, and so many other scalars are also there. You need to select which is the particular scalar that I can use ahead. You need to proceed with that. Then comes encoding part. Then also you will see, okay, if it is a ordinal encoder or label encoder, one hot encoder, or other, there are so many other encoders as well. What are the encoders that you can use? You can choose one, go with that. So till now, up to now, we have done the missing value imputation and scaling with encoding. In that case, what are we having? We are having a data set where all the values are present and those values are in numerical format. Okay. The next step is feature engineering. Why feature engineering? As I mentioned earlier, that when we see the relation of each of the column, each of the features with the target variable, you might find that there are some features which are just there for a sake of presence, but those are not affecting your target variable. If something is there which is not affecting your target variable, then why you want to take it forward to like increase your calculation on it? Let's say you have a data set where two columns are there, and in both the columns same values are written, but in one column the values are in meters and another column values are in kilometers. After doing the scaling, both the things are coming on the same scale. So now what you are having basically is you are having two columns where all the values are same. It is kind of a redundancy situation, and we do not want any redundancy, because otherwise what will happen, our model will see, okay, these are some values that are coming again and again, which means these are some crucial values, and it will give more weightage to that. But we do not want that. That's why feature engineering comes into play, where you will see that if some features are there which are not of use, you can eliminate those. And even after that, other thing what you can do is you can club two or more features together and create a new feature of on your own, and you can move ahead with that. These are all the things that can be done in feature engineering. Apart from that, there are so many like predefined feature engineering methods as well, which are feature extractor, feature decomposition, selection. If you have done with the MLF part, you might have seen PCA is there, SPD is there, which is in MLF week 4 or week 6. I am not remembering exactly. These are the feature engineering methods which you can use in feature decomposition. There are feature selectors as well, like RFE is there, select best is there, and there are so many other selectors that you will see while going ahead with the course. So you can use them for the feature engineering part. After that, you are having a very crisp data set, which is like the actual data set that you want to use in the model training part. Now comes the model selection part, where you have to select the model. Now it depends, like if your problem is a regression problem or a classification problem, based on that, you can select a model. Let's say you are having a regression model. You can start with linear regression, which is the very basic model. And you can keep scaling your efficiency of the model in a row. And if you are having a classification model, you can go with the logistic regression. After that, decision tree classifier is there, decision tree regression is also there, random forest classifier, and then XGBoost is there, light BGM is there, and there are so many other models you can explore while you will be going through your coursework. So these are several model training parts which you can select. Like there are so many models that you can pick up and use in your model training part. In the model training, you can do the cross validation and hyperparameter tuning as well, because in one model there are so many internal hyperparameters. When you are not tuning them, they are selected by default values. Whatever the default value they are, they will be used. But you can tune them so that the same model with the same data set will give a better performance if you tune their other parameters well. This thing come under hyperparameter tuning. In hyperparameter tuning also, you will find two different methods. One is random search CV, another is grid search CV. I am using some terminologies from the MLP course. The reason is, if you are done with the MLP theory, it would be more understandable to you. If you are not, no need to worry. Just listen to the part. When you will be going through the coursework and whenever you will be hearing about these words, you will understand, okay, I have heard this particular thing. This was used for those steps, right? That's why you need to just listen to this part and understand what is happening. So this is a very smooth story kind of thing. So once you are trained with your model, then you can there are several evaluation metrics. Usually evaluation metrics is also mentioned in the Kaggle portal itself, like on what metrics we need to evaluate our model. You have to go through those evaluation metrics only and do whatever you want to do. Okay. And after that, there are few other steps that are mentioned here, like MLOps is something which is not exactly for this MLP project, but this is something that if you are very excited about it and you want to explore further at the industry level point of view, then you can explore on that. Otherwise, up to the evaluation metrics is something that is required for the MLP project. I will quickly go through a smooth storyline once again, and then we will come back to the questions. Okay. So in the MLP project, you are getting one raw data set. You start with exploring, okay, what is the data set about? What is the shape of the data set? What are the columns? What is the meaning of those columns? What are the values those are containing? Is it a numerical, categorical, textual, binary, float, whatever values those are? This is the exploration part. Then you see what is the distribution, what is the descriptive statistics, what is the relation using different plots like bar graph, histogram, pie chart, and box plot or pair plots or whatever plots you want to show. Then you are going to see what is the like, is there is some relation between one column to another column, or one feature to the target variable. In that case, you will do multivariate analysis, where again you can use this these plots and then correlation matrix, heat maps, and all those things. And once done with this part, you'll see, okay, now we know how our data set is, what each of the features are containing, how those values are distributed. There are some missing values that we have found. Now you need to handle the missing value. You have to decide, do we need to do the imputation? If yes, then what are the kind of imputation you can do? Then the next step is data pre-processing. You need to do the scaling if required. Then the encoding if there is categorical variable, as you already know that your model cannot be trained with the categories. You need to convert them into the integer or the numerical values. So for that you need encoding. Once you have all the models in the numerical form, then you will see, okay, if there are something which is irrelevant, I need to drop, or something that I can do to increase the model performance, then you will go for the feature engineering methods. Once you are done with the feature engineering part, you will see, okay, now I have the final data set ready with me. Here comes the splitting as well, which I mentioned, which I didn't mention earlier. Like, you need to split your data set into two parts, so that you can use the bigger chunk for the training and the smaller chunk for the validation. Like, usually we use 80-20 split. Like, whatever training data you are having, you will take 80% of those training data for the model training part, and then the remaining 20% for the validation, how your model is performing for this particular data set. Then you will use evaluation metrics to see, okay, what is the accuracy, or what is the F1 score, whatever the metrics is there, how your model is working, is it giving the better predictions or not. Once you are getting some prediction, you'll see, okay, if we can do some hyperparameter tuning, there might be a case we will increase the accuracy. You will try to explore that as well, and then you will get a conclusion that this is the particular model with these parameters, which is the final model, which is working very well for me, which is the optimal for me. Then you will make a smooth pipeline for that, and you will employ the same steps with the test data set as well, and make the predictions and use it in the Kaggle for submission. So this is a very smooth storyline. This is the smooth pipeline that you have to follow for your MLP project. And for the L1 Viva checklist, here are some 10-11 points mentioned, which you will be using, which these are the points that must be present in your notebook in order to clear your L1 Viva with full marks, kind of. Otherwise, there are some things that if those are not present, then also you can proceed ahead with the L2 Viva, but they might have you might face some loss of marks. So that was a quick introduction about the MLP project. Now I can move ahead with the questions. If you guys have any questions, we can move ahead with that.
Sir, I still have the same question. The how we would be good in the foundation about this project, the concept which would be there in the project. So along with
Hmm.
the theory, the parallel
Okay,
thing.
got it, got it. So there is a one misconception here, that people usually think that, okay, this is the fixed pipeline that I need to follow. No, ML is something which is totally predicted based. That is why all the people with same learning, with same data set, get different accuracy score. The reason is there are big steps that you all know, but for reaching from one destination to the other, you have several paths that you can follow. Like, you know that EDA is something you need to do. You can do EDA in different ways. There are so many options of EDA. Other people have so many options of EDA. And once you will be going through the part, you will see that these all the things you have already been taught in either MLF or in MLT only, because most of the pre-processing part we are taught in MLF, and most of the model training and hyperparameter tuning parts are taught in MLT. In MLP coursework, especially, we are not teaching something new. What we are trying in MLP theory course is, we are collating all those concepts together and trying to convert them into the practical knowledge using the code. Like till the MLT part, you are doing the calculation on mathematics by using pen and paper, right? But this is not how your model is working. Your model is working on some code. That is why in MLP, you will be understanding, okay, if I want to apply this thing, I can use this kind of code. This is something that if you want, you can go through the slide and understand, or you can use SQL and documentation anytime whenever you are stuck at some point.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And sir, what
Yeah,
is the
Harikriti.
L1 or L2?
Okay, L1 is the level 1 Viva, L2 is the level 2 Viva. L1 Viva is just for the cross-checking if you have all the required things in your notebook and you have the better knowledge about the part or not. And in L2 Viva, mostly those Vivas are conducted by the industry professionals, and there they test your knowledge inside out about everything, whatever you have done in your MLP project.
So, doing the Kaggle work is the L1, and what would be the uh, evolution criteria for
So
marking?
for that, I guess the better option would be you have to go through the grading document and the MLP project doc. There are different weightage for all of the components. You have to go through it, then only you will understand it in a better way.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Harikriti?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sir, actually, my MLT was not very good. I found the first 4 weeks to be fine, but after that, my college coursework became very heavy and I could not do justice to the course. So that is going to be a problem, right? So I only got a B grade. Should I consider repeating it along with
No,
MLP and MLP project?
no. Because in MLT, you are understanding how those particular models are working at the back end. What is the very basic? This is like this coursework is structured very well because no other course in the industry that is running currently is having such a depth of each of the model you are having. But in MLP, you are not going to showcase what is the calculation running behind that you have learned in MLT. Here, for the model training part, you will only use one line of code, that is model.fit. That's it. You are not going to do anything. You just It is just for the basic info that you should understand what how those particular models are being used, so that it would be helpful for you to apply those things and during the vivas in the particularly in L2 viva. But for considering about the work that you need to do in the project, there is no particular need of very expertise in MLT.
Okay, sir. But if I want to learn in depth about everything in MLT, because that's the basic, right? What is the way to go about it? Because I tried to cover it, but it was very difficult, and I understood on a very surface level. I Yeah. So how do I do it?
Actually, like the MLT course which is there in this degree is something that is very crisp and very nice and in detail. But apart from that, what you can do is you just go through the concepts here and see the working, how those things are working with different data set using the SQL and documentation, so that you will have an understanding how those things are working, what is the condition when those particular models are being applied, and how those models are working at the back end using the MLT coursework. So balancing
Okay, sir.
both the coursework would be a great idea for you to enhance your knowledge on the model particularly.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else is having any doubt? If you guys are having any doubts, you can raise your hand so that
Sir,
I can call your name.
this session is recorded, and how I can retrieve it later on?
Aradhya would be the better person to answer this.
Yes, Ram, this session is being recorded and it will be uploaded on Sundarban's YouTube channel. And from
Um,
we will share the link on our Sundarban's group and Kaggle also. You can watch it there.
so sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
also to add on, like not from the project point of view, but to add on, like, what are the help you are getting from the IITM's team. I just wanted to highlight that as well. Like, you guys will be having a weekly 1 hour or 2 hour session from Monday to Friday from overall whenever from the overall timeline of the project, like whenever the project starts up to the end of the project, there will be the regular sessions from Monday to Friday for you. Those are the live sessions. Apart from that, there are boot camps that are being conducted by IITM. Those are like 1 week boot camp, and in that boot camp, uh, usually mentors go through each and every step in very great depth. And also, apart from that, there are like hands-on sessions in the boot camp itself where they will provide you some questions for practice, and you can solve those questions. And if you have any doubts, there are one-to-one mentors who can come up to you and you can clear your doubts as well. This is the facility that IITM is giving for you if you feel any difficulty in your MLP project. Yeah, we can continue with the doubts now.
Ulagozin.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
So I got some specific doubts in that EDA part, sir.
What is
For,
that?
uh, for example, sir, if it is a data type, sir, how to
Yes.
go about it, and I also want to know about duplicates and outliers, sir. How to treat them, rather quite specifically, sir.
Um, I guess this is not a correct platform to answer such specific doubts, because those are the specific doubts that are dependent upon the data set, and based on that only we can treat them.
Okay,
There are
I
different
understand, sir.
ways to treat according to the data set. But for
Okay,
the date time part, I'll suggest you that in the pandas itself, there is a library called date time library. You have to, like, if your data set is in that library format, that's good. If it is not, then you can convert it to that library format, and then you can extract the year, the month, and the date. Apart from that, you can extract what is the day of the week, what is the day of the week and day of the month, and all those things. And then in the EDA you can see if there is some relation with the like month and the target variable, with the date and the target variable. Let's say you are having a sales data, okay,
yeah,
and you are given some date. So now when you are converting your data set into the pd.datetime format, then you can extract the day of the week. And let's say you are having a target variable which says the sales number, and you can plot a visualization between the day of the week and the sales, and there is a high probability that you might see that the sales trend are high on the weekends compared to what is there in the weekdays,
yeah,
right? But from the now here comes the twist. The twist is, if you are using your data set directly, so in your data set you are having the date column. That is of no use here, because from the date you can't relate sales directly, because dates will be like 1, 2, 3 up to 31st. And here
yeah.
we are checking the day of the week, which is from Monday to Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Yeah,
now comes the part which I mentioned earlier, that is feature engineering. What you are doing is you are trying to extract day of the week from the date column, and then using the day of the week column into the model training part. Now again, you can't use the day of the week directly because it is a categorical variable. So you will be using some encoder to convert it to the numerical and then do the model training.
okay, sir.
So this is the way you will be moving ahead with such kind of problems. So it depends upon data set to data set. That's why I'm not going much deeper into the specific questions.
Okay, sir. Sir,
But I
that
hope you understood
library you
how you
just
need to
just
proceed.
now, sir. What is it, sir? That you just now
Sorry,
said that library you said no pandas library
it
where
is
I can
Pandas date time library. You just
date
go and
time.
Google it. You'll find how to use it and how does it works.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, and also, guys, you can use the SQL and documentation, because in SQL and documentation for each of the step, whatever the steps are there, when you go and search for it, you will see there are examples also mentioned there how to use, like the code block is there. Apart from that, the uses of such code blocks are also there, and what are the restrictions and all those things are there. So you can use that, and it will be very helpful for you throughout the project.
Sir, can you please share that document?
It is like on the public forum, you just Google it, SQL and documentation, you'll get it.
Scalar document. It's on Google
SK
available.
Learn, like scikit-learn documentation.
Okay, sir.
Anyone is having any doubts, you can raise your hand. If no one is having any doubts, then we can call up. If you guys are having doubts, feel free to reach out.
So, with regard to time that's required for doing this project, how would you suggest us taking combinations of subjects along with it?
Again, Navya, that is something which depends upon person to person, like what is your other commitments apart from this degree, how much time you can dedicate to it, then what is your best foot forward, like is it in the programming background or in the data science background? Based on that, you can select certain combinations and work on it, right?
Sir, like realistically, how much time commitments does this project require?
Like realistically, I'll say that this is one of the other compared to the other project, this is the project that might require least time among all. But apart from that, there are these whatever I told you. This is something that you need to perform on Kaggle. But there are certain other things that you need to perform on the milestone basis as well, which means those are something like if you guys are very new to the ML and you don't know anything. So for those people, there are some set of steps that is mentioned and are broken down into some milestone kind of thing. Like every week, you will be given some milestone on your seat portal, like your actual portal where you are doing other courses as well. And you'll see there will be certain questions. And from those questions, you will see that these are particular steps that you need to perform. So if you go with the milestone as well, then also your project will end on time. And for the time commitment point of view, I'll suggest like giving 2 to 3 hours a week would be sufficient.
Okay, thank you,
Again,
sir.
it depends upon you, like how you are exploring the part, how you are approaching to the problem, and then you how you are exploring the part, because here exploration is the key. For every step there are different paths, and you have to find the optimal combination of all the paths so that you can get the best accuracy possible for you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
And sir,
excuse
what
me,
would
one
be
more question, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sir, you said, sir, you make a submission with after running the dummy classifier, no? That we can run without any pre-processing, sir?
Yes, yes. Dummy classifier is something that you can directly do with the raw data.
I see. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
sir, what would be the timeline for L1 and L2? So let's say it would take L1 take 1 month, or
I
and
guess it
after.
is not yet released, or if it is released, it would be in the grading document. So you can refer to that. I have no idea on that in particular.
Okay,
Sir,
in the
excuse me, it has
previous
already been
project.
released, sir. That this thing link is there in that chat box, just for your information.
Which link?
This for January 2025 term, that project
Okay, okay,
MLP
okay,
project, no link has been released, sir.
okay.
It is there in that.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you for your information. Anyone else?
Yes, sir. So, will you recommend taking the MLP theory with MLP project for someone who is like new to building models, machine learning models?
Yeah, you can explore on that part. Eventually, I will suggest each and everyone who are going to enroll for MLP theory can enroll for MLP project in this term as well. Because if you can successfully complete it, that's very good for you. If you are not even able to do so, then also you do not have to pay it again because the registration is valid for 2 terms. You can do the same in the next term, and in this way you will also get a hands-on practice throughout the term. Whatever you are learning in MLP theory, you will be applying those things in the project. So if you even do not successfully complete the project, then also you will get a hands-on experience on that, and that would help you when you will be giving the OPPs in the MLP theory part. So this is something that you can take care about. That if you are willing to complete MLP project anyhow in the consecutive term of theory, then I will suggest you to enroll for both the things in the same term so that you can have an hands-on experience in this term as well, along with the next term if you are moving ahead your project in the next term. Okay?
Okay, so the like problem statement will change for the next term if not completed in the current term.
Problem statement will change, but the overall the upper umbrella of all the steps that you need to do will remain same. And if you are some person who wants to be very good in MLP, then it is better to do more and more projects by yourself, more and more competition, and follow these steps and explore different ways of doing. Like I have given you several paths and several ways of everything, so you can explore more and more path by yourself, and by exploring only you will understand the MLP concept better.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Anyone else?
Sarthak bhai, I also have a question.
Yeah, sure, Agar.
It is basic level, but you told that in raw data set we will use uh, कहते हैं descriptive statistics. And
Yeah.
recently I completed business analytics, so it will be helpful in MLP project.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you will go through the pandas library, you will see that for a data set, when you do data.describe, this is a method by which you will get a clean descriptive statistics table for all the columns in particular, where you will see for each of the column what is the mean value, what is the standard deviation, what is the 0 percentile, 25th percentile, 50th percentile, 75th, and 100 percentile. In that way, from the descriptive statistics itself, you can understand, okay, this is how my particular data set is being spread about. I'll tell you a small story in that part. Like in one of the previous terms, there was a data set on age. Like there was one data set where age is one column. And by the descriptive statistics only, you can see when you will do the descriptive statistics, you will get a value of maximum and minimum. And there, many people got to know that age is a column which cannot be negative, right?
Yes.
But when you will do the descriptive statistics, then the minimum value for the age column was coming in negative,
Negative.
which is something that is very irrelevant. Like you cannot have a age in negative. So these are the things that you can pinpoint directly from a table. And like uh, descriptive statistics is something like people do not consider much, but that is a table which is full of data, which is full of knowledge. If you just explore each and every point of that table, you will get to understand more of your data. That is why in the BDM project as well, they are giving particularly 20 marks for the descriptive statistics only, because in the descriptive statistics you will get to know more and more about your dataset on which you are working. right? It is not just about getting the mean and the median and all. It is so much more than that.
So, would you prefer to opt BA before doing MLP project for better understanding
Um,
descriptive statistics?
no, no, no. There is nothing such in BA that can be used in MLP project.
Okay,
You can use MLP project simultaneously with the BA. There is nothing as such.
okay. Thank you, Sarthak bhai.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a not specific to this question specific to this session, but I wanted to attend the BDM session, which was on 2 3 hour ago. So, but I missed that. How can I access that?
So, Ram, the session recordings of today's session will be uploaded by tomorrow night or tomorrow evening, and the link will be shared on group. And if you do not get the link, you can share the Sundarban YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, right?
Yes, yes, YouTube channel, Sundarban's IITM. You can find that link easily. If you want, I can paste in the uh, chat also.
Yes, yes. Please, please, please press.
Okay. And if anyone have any further question regarding the MLP project, you can ask.
I guess we can stop the recording as well as the session if no one is having any doubt.
Mm, yeah.
So, do you have any resources, like external resources, which can help in our MLP project, like which you can share?
Usually for MLP project, I'll refer to the SQL and documentation itself because it is very enriched in itself. Apart from that, in particular, I do not have any external resources as such because that was pretty much sufficient. Apart from that, you can explore much on the Google or ChatGPT itself, like to find ways. At whatever point you stuck, at some point you can find different ways. Like if you want to explore more on encoding, you can see what are different encoding methods, and then you can go to the SQL and documentation and see how each of those encoding methods are working. So in that way, it would be helpful for you because in MLP there is no hard and fast rule key. This is the particular pipeline that you need to follow. So it is totally on an exploration basis, though that's why there might not be something which will be like directly helpful for you in the consolidation part.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, if you guys feel any like if you need support in that case, then you can, whenever you want, you can join those sessions, live sessions that are being conducted by IITM, or you can enroll to the boot camps as well that they are doing that are pretty good and helpful.
So, MLP project bootcamp is like should be joined. Like, how is it?
No, no, it is like not a mandatory thing to be joined, but if you want, if you feel that you need certain support at the point, you can explore that as well. That is also an option for you. That's what I'm saying.
No, did you mean MLP boot camp or MLT boot camp?
No, I'm talking about MLP Project Bootcamp.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't get the. Can you share the link, please? MLP, I did not see any boot camp.
There is it would not be like released now. It usually gets released in the mid of the term, and whoever is finding it difficult to cross, like complete the project, they enroll in that and they go through that. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all from my end. If you guys have no questions, if you are having any questions, don't hesitate. Feel free to ask.
I have one question. Now, I think this time we have to do a regression clustering. That is a topic given, if I'm not mistaken. Hello?
Yeah, I
And
actually I am not very aware about it because I
yes,
haven't
I
gone
saw
through the
that.
problem
And
statement yet.
everybody are working on the same data set.
Yeah, everyone will be working on the same data set
So
only.
my doubt is, how does how will my project be different from anybody else's? I mean, how what is the differentiating factor?
There are so much of the differentiating factor. One is the presentation of the notebook itself.
Okay,
Another is the approach like you are following.
but see, if it's
Because
clustering, there would be a standard. The foundation would be the same, right? How
no,
clustering
like
is done.
the bigger block would always be same,
Uh,
but apart from that, each of the every steps would be different for you as well as the different person.
okay,
That's
okay.
what
So
I'm
that
saying.
is
That
the that is a differentiating
everyone
factor.
have to do the pre-processing. That is fine. But
Okay,
how are you guys pre-processing? Everyone can have a different method of pre-processing.
okay. So
That will
that
be
will
the
be the
differentiating factor.
okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Sir, may we get some the previous presentation document?
Presentation documentizing.
Uh, let's just a few seconds ago you said uh, uh, every student would be having some different presentation. So a sample or kind of.
Presentation of the notebook I'm talking about, like in your notebook itself, you are doing these many steps that were mentioned in the slide, those 11 steps. So how are you presenting your notebook? Is it like a well commented, well marked down, or is it just a rough notebook kind of thing? How is it? Those are the things that will differentiate you from others.
No, no, I'm just asking about sample presentation.
No, there are no such sample presentation notebook.
Okay.
So I think with that it all ends. If you have any doubt, you can still ask. I'm not in the session. So nobody has raised their hand. So thank you, Sarthak Bhai, and thank you everyone for joining the session. And Sarthak Bhai giving us 1 hour of your precious time and insightful thoughts on my MLP project and such a great guidance will be enough for us to complete MLP project with good grades. So now I will stop the recording and thank you
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you everyone. Thank you, Aradhya, for having me here, and I hope